Welcome to Board Ghost, a story broadcast with games as the engine.
If living is a highway, then heaven is a bus stop. Been waiting for a minute there, but has it been forever?
We believe you're out there, hungry for stories for shared experiences. We can't see you, can't hear you, yet we will play for you. This night's offering is a continuation of our game of Fiasco, using the Fiasco playset Big Anime Con. To learn how we generate stories playing the game of Fiasco, go check out our Fiasco Rules Primer. I am one of your humble players, John Holt. With me is
Ken Breese.
Tiffany Cook.
D-Gaily.
All right, welcome back, guys.
Yeah.
It's great to have you both on again.
You guys are awesome.
Before we get into our thing, I'll go through our grid real quick, and then we'll go through our characters. So we've got a relationship between Tiffany's character, Kate Greenfield, and Ken's character, Max Spike. They are siblings, close relationship, who tend to fight but both like anime, and a location, a hotel suite. Between Max Spike, Ken's character, and my character, Nicholas Kagan, we have an otaku bonding relationship. We are drunken revelers. And we also have the need to get laid with a hot cosplayer. Between my character, Nicholas Kagan, and Dee's character, Misty Marshall, we have a club project relationship. We are part of a tabletop gaming group. And we also have a rarity, a prohibited weapon. Between Dee's character, Misty Marshall, and Tiffany's character, Katie Greenfield, we have a networking relationship, a business venture, and the need to have fun at someone else's expense. Going out of the first half of our story, we generated our tilt. So new to the grid is a tragedy, confusion followed by pain, and mayhem, magnificent self-destruction. All right, so let's roll through what our characters, where we're at from last time. So where's your character at?
Well, as John was saying, my character's name is Max Greenfield, but he goes by Spike because that is the character he cosplays as. Spike Spiegel from the very famous and well-known anime Cowboy Bebop. Spike comes from money, so he has a sick-ass penthouse suite that he has with his sister, and all these ne'er-do-wells have shown up. But Spike isn't letting it bother him too much because he's winning all these cosplay contests. He has his eye on the prize. His goal is to win the cosplay competition and then to somehow bed the most famous cosplayer here, Num Num Beans. That's where he's at right now. Just had to put his foot down with his sister and her friend, Misty Marshall. Whole rank saying that he was going to kick everybody out of his suite if they didn't respect his authority. But he has made friends with Nicholas Kagan as well, an all-around party dude, and they have basically sort of made pact that they're going to party it up this weekend.
All right, so Nicholas Kagan is a college kid who's been coming to this for a while. He definitely has his schemes, but his love of wearing costumes and all that stuff seems to maybe get in the way of his total perving out. So he starts out in a schoolboy uniform, just kind of rolling in, assuming he can get in, quickly changes into his Ice King uniform for the second half of the con, just kind of keeps drinking scene for scene as the day goes on. So he tends to generate his own drama, I think, does Nicholas Kagan.
And I am playing Misty Marshall. She is a cam girl and an Instagram cosplayer, and she goes to these anime conventions, but actually isn't that much into anime. So she's spending her time having fun, kind of taking this 19-year-old Katie like under her wing and plying her with alcohol and illegal drugs in the hopes of just like having a good time.
And I'm Katie Greenfield. She is 19 and she cosplays for work for this new show Zombie Moon, which is like a cross between like a zombies Sailor Moon-esque kind of thing. So she is like interested in developing a game though. So she's like got this like sub motive. Obviously she like is having a good time here, but is also like kind of feeling more like it's a work thing. But she's so excited about her new friendship with Misty Marshall because Misty Marshall is like super into gaming and it has like a huge following. And so it's a huge potential connection for her. And she's really never done a lot of like drinking or drugs before and is having a blast.
Yeah, that's our setup. Let's roll right into our story. Ken, why don't you take it away? First scene of Act 2.
Act 2, first scene, the camera pushing in from outside the hotel where all this anime convention is taking place. And through sort of now a more of an empty lobby, there's still a few anime kids maybe playing some games or who have sort of passed out from so much fun on sort of the lobby furniture. We're pushing past them with our camera, going past the reception desk where there is a very frazzled, still sort of wired concierge. And we're pushing past our concierge into the hotel bar, where things are still swinging, though maybe not as wild as they were just a few hours ago. It is after midnight. The bar is going to be closing down soon. And Nicholas Kagan and Spike are hanging out. They're both in their costumes, so they're a little disheveled at this point.
We're outside the bar,
Yeah.
like kind of humoring a gaggle of
Yeah,
girls who
yeah.
are pretty young.
Yes,
And
that's
we're
also
like,
true.
we're going, sorry, ladies. Got to be 21 to get in the bar. And as we go in
Exactly.
there, like, oh, and
Sorry.
googly eyed or whatever.
But I look back and I say, if you're still waiting, maybe you'll get to see the penthouse.
Nice, man. High
like,
five.
yeah, high
So
five, we high
skeevy.
five. So skeevy, so pervy. And I'm like, oh man, the penthouse, it works every time, I'm telling you. But
I don't know,
I don't
man.
even care about those scrubs, man. I'm have my sights set on the num-num.
You're wasting your time, man.
Come on.
You don't even need a
man.
penthouse. Like, those girls will go right in the stairwell. It's totally fine.
Oh man, I can't. That's terrible. You're just, man. You gotta have some class about this. You gotta sit. I'm building something here, man. I'm gonna win the competition. Num Num's gonna be hanging out with me. Do you understand how many likes I'm gonna get?
Now it's about volume. I don't know what you're doing.
I'm just trying to live the Spike life, man. That's what you're always talking about. We got to inhabit these characters, become them. There is no such word as cosplay. Remember when you said that?
When I stepped across the threshold of this bar, I shed the Ice King. I gave that girl my glowing pendant.
Yeah, man, that's heavy.
And if she shows me her ID and she's old enough, I will see her in the stairwell later.
I sort of balk at this and I'm like, oh man, the stairway, it's like full of oil. People have been stepping on, like, oh man, dirt.
No, it's clean.
Who knows what's in
It's
there?
like a clean hotel stairway. No, actually, no one
What?
goes in there. We're like in the Midwest. Nobody uses it. Like, that gets vacuumed every once in a while, but like really nobody uses it
Man,
except us during
kinda-
cosplay conventions.
man, I'm sort of ordering us more drinks. I'm pouring sake, and I'm sort of, man, no, it's about setting a scene. It's about a mood. It's the character. It flows from the character's heart, and the scene unfolds in beautiful reality. Man, you gotta get more poetic about this.
No, see, the thing is, I learned a long time ago that it's all pretty base. It's all like that. What you see in the shows, that perfection doesn't exist in real life.
What?
That's why really down that road leads to a waifu. You're going to have like a pillow girlfriend because you're seeking that level of perfection that does not exist in real life.
Man, I'm never going down that road. Never. That's the dark side, man. There's no way.
Have you
Not
even-
for me.
This Num Num could be a hologram for all we know.
I'm gonna prove she's not a hologram. There's no way that you're right. How's this go for me, you guys?
What are you trying to do?
I am trying to preserve my ideals, and they are taking a savage beating
By my
because
sophic.
by this creepy, pervy mentor.
Yeah. No, I think it goes real bad.
Yeah, it goes real bad.
Okay.
All right, sweet. All right.
She's been like down the bar listening to this conversation.
Who has?
the
Oh,
entire-
Num Num?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So she.
And she's like, your creep friend's right.
I'm just, yeah, right. I think that's when I start going. I do, meh. I start crying. I start doing, meh. I start doing the anime crying. And
Me
my
and Num Num
dreams
give
are
each
shattered.
other a look
Yeah,
and roll our
yeah,
eyes.
exactly. You guys, the sort of the hardened
The
veterans,
jaded
the jaded,
cons,
hardened
bro.
con veterans. She's like, she takes a big drag from a cigarette and she's all, take everything you can get, give nothing back.
That's right.
She's like-
I'm going to the stairwell. There's like little guys, little boys.
I'm going to the stairwell. That's it.
Hangdog Max Spike just kind of like leaves the bar.
Yep.
So I'm sit there, I drink a couple more drinks, and I look over and there's some like middle-aged women playing cards at a table. I'm like, oh, does the Ice King see Euchre? Oh man, make room, ladies. Who wants to play the ladies?
Time to uke.
So
Oh, young man, you know you.
yeah, I've like gone to a few competitions with my college gaming crew.
Oh, look at this man. He's so.
Ooh.
Do you think you're good? You think you want to play this game with us?
Yeah, I think I'm good. I know I'm good. Let's put some stakes on this.
Oh.
What do you
Alright.
gotta play, huh?
Let's say first few rounds buys the round. Whoever's lowest after 3 rounds is buying.
Well, I could use a couple more apple martinis.
Yeah, let's do it.
So they play and like the whole table like for a couple hours and they just are blotto.
Blotto.
Then that one of the ladies suggests, why don't we take this upstairs? So how's this gonna go?
It goes super well. Duh.
Really?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Cut to the next morning.
Yeah.
And carrying his
Ice
Ice
King
King
boots.
costume.
It's got the whole costume.
yeah, like just kind of and just with like a look of like
Whoa.
What
like his
happened?
consciousness has
It's
been
been
expanded.
expanded, yeah.
He's learned things that
That will serve him well.
yeah. And he just kind of like walks down the hall towards the penthouse, just like
Yeah.
he is a,
Sun's coming in from a window,
Right.
sort of.
and he actually like when he gets into the room, he throws his costume in the trash
Oh.
and just like strides like naked and proud through the penthouse.
Everyone's all passed out.
Oh,
All
yeah.
It's just like total
Nobody sees
piles.
this.
Again, the end of the night, like after kind of Spike's sort of like quiet meltdown, he left to go cool off like in the bar, and so like it's getting later in the night, and like a lot of the other revelers in the room with Misty and Katie kind of like wander off and like fall asleep, and it's just the two of them kind of like sitting on the couch, like just kind of like the wistful end of night, like still pretty drunk and rolling and whatever, but just kind of like like looking at each other, and Misty is just like, I really I meant what I said. Like, you are so pretty. Like, you should really have lots more Instagram followers.
Really? You think so? I don't know what I'm doing that I'm not getting them. Like, what do you think I should try?
Oh, well, she kind of like grabs her phone and sort of like goes through it and opens up this like little app, and is just kind of like casually like sets it behind the two of you, and she's like, I am kind of a pro at this, right? Like, obviously you see like how popular I am, and like a really good way to get followers is just to do like videos, because like lots of people want to see like who you are, right? Like when people see videos, they really think like they know you, right? So like I'll just put this on like a live video, and then like we can do some, like a video together right now.
Like right now? Ooh, that sounds fun. I mean, I'm still feeling really good from earlier. What do you think?
I think that's totally a good idea. And you know what? Like, this is going to get you so many more followers. But, like, probably what you should do is, like, it's been a long night. Like, just, like, freshen up a little. Like, here, let me, like, help you with your hair. And, like, you should probably just, like, take off this, like, the costume. It's, like, kind of ratty, whatever, right? And then, like, the two of us, like, and she just, like, kind of reaches over and it's, like, smoothing Katie's hair back. And then she kind of just, like, leans in and is, like, talking softly to her. And then like leans in for like a kiss, like a soft kiss.
And Katie is like super shocked, but is kind of like, ooh, like I kind of like her and I don't know what to do, so I'm just gonna go for it, and like kisses her back, but like also kind of like giggles and it's like like, what was that for?
I've just been like looking at you, and like you're just so pretty. Like, have you ever like kissed a girl before? Is this your first time?
It is my first time, but like I think you're really cute too. I don't know. I've just like haven't really ever tried it before.
Well, this is your first time trying it, everybody. And she's like, meanwhile, has like started this like live video. So how does this go?
Oh.
I know. Should we? You know what? Kids. There
Yeah.
are no dangers
There
to
are-
using
exactly.
the internet.
There are none.
No
It
dangers
goes
at
great.
all.
It
Goes well.
so
Goes
great.
great.
It goes really well.
So I think she's like, oh my God, you were filming that? And then like leans in for another kiss.
All right. So
And we just see like the screen's kind of blurred out, but we just see the like
Blink.
counts and
yeah,
view
the little
counts, like,
hearts,
blink,
like
blink, blink,
the
blink.
thumbs, like, and then the viewer, because it's like Instagram Live, maybe like the number of viewers just like goes up
shooting
and up, and there's little comments coming up constantly. But they don't even pay attention because
Yeah.
they're just so
It's like, put that there. Do that with that.
into each other, right?
I mean, obviously we're super cool.
And then we sort of just like that
Fade to
continues
black.
on. The camera like pans away into the
Where there's, like,
Instagram
a-
video, just like
yeah, or like
just the
past it
comments.
to a couch where the same kid who's been like in the Naruto costume just sleeping on the couch is still there sleeping on the couch.
and then we sort of jump cut to like all these different screens where
Mhm.
people are watching the feeds coming out of Anime Con,
Yeah,
and this starts to get
trending.
Woo! This is now the next morning, kind of like post Nicholas Kagan, like wandering in while we're all passed out. And we're all kind of starting to come to for the day and like kind of getting ourselves together. And Katie is like experiencing her first wicked hangover and is like, oh, what happened last night? Ugh. And she's like pressing on her temple and she's like kind of like looking weird because she like lost a contact during this whole thing. And it's just like, don't understand. And her hair is super skewed. She also like did not completely change out of her costume, so she's like half in her cosplay, but like also like kind of like falling out of it a little bit and like kind of just like thrown over near Misty. All of us are in this scene.
Okay.
I think that Spike is in another room potentially still.
Yeah, we didn't really get into his homecoming, but I think that's
Yeah.
probably a good thing. The door to the master bedroom is sort of opening, and he's
It's like stepping over a kid.
No,
Who's in the
it's-
doorway.
It's more. There's definitely a kid that he needs to step over, but it's more like he's trying to usher someone out of his room, who is probably her age is indeterminate. She's probably older than 16, but who knows? Probably older than 18, but who knows?
Mhm.
And so it's sort of a
She's
weird.
like, oh, if you see my Tamagotchi, can you just
Yeah,
like
sort of a weird.
give
who
it
knows?
to me?
Or she's older and pretending to be younger. It's very unclear. And so he has this like look on his face that he's like it's just like it's like this cold look where he's like, all right, yeah, this has been a lot of fun, but I need to get some rest, so you can hang out here if you want. But yeah,
She's like, I
there,
love you.
there's the door. I love you too. Yeah, it's great. I'll see you later. And he just sort of closes the door in her face. That's his entry into the scene.
And in the meantime, everybody's kind of scrambling for their phones because
Right.
they keep hearing this, like all these like little things going off. And then like a couple of people are like, damn it, where's my phone? And then like they realize their phone's dead and they're trying to charge it, the like trying to get your shit together kind of moment. And then Spike looks at his phone
Okay.
and notices what's trending online.
Senator Greenfield's daughter.
Awesome. Where's Nicholas Kagan in this scene?
He's coming out of the shower. He's just washed the color out of his hair.
Is he naked still, or is
He's
he
got
covered?
he's got a towel on, like wrapped again, and he's like got a towel, like he's just kind of got one towel around his shoulder. He's kind of drying his hair, and the towel's blue because he washed the dye
just
out.
washed all the dye. So what is his actual hair color?
It's just like a dirty blonde.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of bleached out though.
Yeah, and you're asleep, Misty? Is that-
Misty kind of like, other people are scrambling around for their phones. She kind of just like one shoulder of her like costume's like askew, and she just sort of casually like gets up and grabs her phone and goes over and starts like making coffee in the sweet coffee
kitchenette
maker.
over.
Ash in one hand, she's just like liking and whatever, like on her Instagram, kind of like casually looking over all of the new likes and followers.
Katie, I can't believe this. Have you seen this?
What are you talking about? I just stop yelling.
I-
God.
This is so great. Do you see how awesome this is?
Yeah, girl. Like, there's like you got some good coverage last night.
What are you talking about?
Your likes are off the chart. This is crazy pants.
So wait, are you saying I won?
No, the weekend isn't over, bitch.
Oh, okay, whatever. Can I like get something for my head? Do we have like any aspirin or like Tylenol or something?
I got what you
Oh.
need here, and he like tosses you a little like silver kind of like vial that he had around his neck, and just like a couple snorts of that, you'll be good to go.
Whoa. Maybe some coffee first before you start
after-
snorting anything.
No, after the coffee, and then you'll be fine. Or well, no, do it before the coffee. You don't want to like
What? No.
confuse
Okay.
yourself. You gotta treat your body right. This is natural. Coffee can be a little unnatural.
I mean, I feel like shit. So like anything sounds good right now.
Yeah, don't snort that thing that you don't know what it is.
Spike, why are you such a fucking killjoy? God.
Yeah, girl, like, just go ahead and do it, because it'll make you feel better right away.
Okay. She starts.
Indeed.
All right.
Is this the decision point?
No.
No.
I think
That was just a little bump. A little.
a little bump to get us there. So Katie kind of like stumbles over to where Misty's making coffee and is like, "Can I have some of that?" And pours herself a little bit, like doesn't wait for the answer, and then like actually looks at her phone and there's like 4 voicemails from their dad.
I'm done with you. I need to get dressed anyways. My next competition is like a half hour.
I'm taking you down in that one, boyo.
What? What is your costume?
Oh, you'll see.
Nicholas, I don't even recognize you.
You'll see.
Spike, I need your help.
Oh my god.
Oh, Daddy is mad.
What?
Look at this. I missed 4 calls. And the texts, I can't even look at them. Oh my god, what are we gonna do? Dad's gonna stop paying for this. Oh my god, what are we gonna do?
Whoa. He hasn't called me. He's just calling you. So he's not stopping yet.
Okay. Well,
But you should
can
come
you
talk with
maybe
me
okay, I guess.
alone.
But like, why can't you just talk to me here?
Yeah, Spork, we're all friends here.
I shoot Misty at like this look, and I say, don't think I don't know what you used my sister for, bitch. I know what your game is.
Oh my god, such a nasty mouth. Like,
Gotta leave her alone, Spike. Okay, so do I choose to go or do I not go alone? That's the
Just go well or poorly.
which
for
I
you.
think going well would be that I like hang out with my friends, or
see
going
what's
poorly would
chosen,
be.
I guess.
Yeah.
John, why don't you?
I think it'll go. I think it's gonna go well.
Yeah.
Okay.
That means too that there's like, Daddy's men aren't sweeping in.
Yeah,
yet either.
exactly.
Yeah.
Senator Greenfield's men aren't
Yeah.
sweeping in just
The
yet.
chief of staff isn't
Yeah.
showing up
Fair
to
enough.
clean things up.
Not
So
just
I
yet.
kind of just like I'm avoiding. I'm like, all right, fine. I'm gonna like chill out and I'm gonna
Turn off
go hang out.
notifications.
Yeah, I just like turn off my phone and I'm like, whatever. I'm just gonna hang out with Misty. It'll be fine.
Fine. Then I guess you don't need my help, so I'm out of here.
All right, fine. Who needs you anyway?
I guess we're at the finals of the competition. And yeah, somehow Nicholas Kagan is there.
Not yet.
I guess he's conspicuously absent, but I'm facing off against Num Num Beans, the woman who I had the big crush on, and like this like super like dark horse candidate who came out of nowhere, who's actually like a really beautiful
Black horse costume.
No, almost. Good idea, but almost. No, it's a really beautiful drag Princess Peach. It's like this beautiful princess from the Mario Brothers, but obviously someone in drag. But they look amazing. It's this whole grouping, I guess, of people. I'm in my Spike Spiegel costume that's like the dojo costume. So I have like my gi on. I look like I belong in a dojo. My chest is just beautiful. It's like my gi is super open. So my awesome pecs are showing. They're doing the point in the competition where it's like the crowd is clapping for the person they like the most. And so we're like stepping forward and like doing our sort of poses. All these like shutters are going off as people are taking pictures of all of us, and it's definitely seeming I'm near the top. That it seems like I might actually pull it out somehow. That people are into Spike Spiegel this year for some reason.
I'm gonna say poorly.
Fine with me. So it goes poorly for me. Well, I guess I lose, obviously, and so in losing, I think that I'm gonna sort of go with this mayhem, and I think Spike loses it. Like everything that's been sort of weighing down on him, it's like he thought that his sort of brand of cosplay was really the way to go, and he was emulating these people that he had a lot of respect for. Finding out that it's all sort of crap and not sort of worth anything has really been weighing on him, and that's why he sort of took Nicholas's advice and took this person home with him who he didn't particularly want to. Even though he's been wanting to get laid this whole time, it's been like this sort of like romantic, idealized sort of version of that. And as everything comes crashing down, he's not winning this competition. He's definitely not getting laid by the person that he wants to. What he does is he tries to sabotage things, and he sort of like becomes like a really petulant person, and in a really dangerous way, in that he like unties this rope that's holding up like a boom of the curtains. And so it comes crashing down onto the stage, causing everyone to jump out of the way, and even some people get injured. And with everyone screaming and yelling, that is where our scene ends.
Back up in the suite, where it's costume montage.
Yep.
Where you just have like pants going on, socks going on, shoes going on, tying shoes, like all in extreme close-ups, like makeup applied, wig going on, all this stuff. And a hand reaches into a bag, one of those bags that it came with, and you see from inside the bag, there are like a couple like props floating around in there, like a toy knife and a couple toy guns. And one of the toy knife and toy guns have like orange on them, so it's like very clear. But the hand reaches in and like wraps around one, and as it pulls out and like you kind of like brandish on it, it doesn't have an orange on it. It's
just a gun.
Shines and like, you know, gets tucked in the back of some pants. Boom, strutting down the hall is this like perfect Lupin costume.
Of course.
So, like, bam, 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 like Lupin guy walking down the way.
The guy that Spike Spiegel was based off of.
Yeah. And cut to like the bedlam, like they're trying to like reposition the boom. Like the ambulance is taking away like a sad like girl or two that got smushed. And and they're like, all right, well, we've gone through the costume level of our competition, and it's time for the skits. And that's when like little groups of cosplayers come out and perform a skit. Misty, you're there, and you're in your Lupin foil costume.
Mm-hmm. Sexy.
Whatever. Yeah. And
Femme fatale.
and we're gonna go up and do our skit to the thing. We see Max like kind of like glowering in the corner.
Yeah.
And we just like shoot him a wink, and our music starts playing, and we go up on stage. I'm like, you ready for this? You
I'm
psyched?
so ready. Misty like has like her Instagram live like video going. She's like found somebody to film them. She's like, so ready. Let's do this.
All right. Just point me to the camera, and I'll take care of this.
All right. And so she like gives her camera to like one of the little girls off stage and is like, film this. I missed you. Like it's gonna be great.
So then the Lupin theme plays, and like bing, 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 and I like roll out, and you like jump out, and there's like smoke on the stage, and we're like bam, 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 like rolling this way.
Oh,
Sexy posing.
Yeah,
Lupin.
sexy posing as I like.
Yeah.
Watch out. She's going to get you.
And just as like the song kind of crescends, I like point my gun right at the camera and like pull the trigger, and it reports. How's this gonna go?
It goes really bad.
Okay.
For you, obviously.
So the camera just explodes in this little girl's hands, and she like, it just goes. She falls back, and then like a fountain like
Fountain of
out of
blood.
an anime,
Yeah.
just like hoses up in the air, and everyone like screams and loses their mind. That's the end of my scene there.
I think it's like a couple years ago, right? Like it's
Oh, nice. Yeah.
it's like before Misty's like started her like it's before Instagram got big.
Mm-hmm.
It's before all that, and it's like a simpler time maybe when we would just like hang out and be playing a game of D&D.
Yeah.
And we're just like, fighting. We're like playing D&D, and in our game our characters are at a dungeon convention.
Yeah. And we're trying to defeat the Ice King who's there.
Makes sense.
All right.
He's a prince still at this point.
So is it just
not a king yet?
Is it just the two of us playing? Do we have other friends?
I think we have other friends there, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Who's DMing?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I'll DM.
Okay. All right, so our friend Craig the Dungeon Master, is DMing. And so we're in our final battle with the Ice King, and it's his turn.
And so you see the riveting ice falling from the sky, locking you in place as the Ice King raises his hands, incanting his arcane language as a stream of frost shoots from his hands.
I roll intellect and arcane knowledge.
Yeah, go ahead and make that roll.
Roll.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, you can definitely tell that this is a first level ray of frost spell. It looks like that if it hits you, that you will definitely be frozen solid.
She's playing a dwarf fighter. And what's Nicholas playing? The mage,
He's
right?
playing a mage, yeah.
Yeah. Misty's like, Ulfgar's gonna run forward. He's gonna block. What's Nicholas's character?
Valdemar.
Valdemar.
Oh, very honorable. Yes, you have advantage on your saving throw. Go ahead and roll. Oh, it looks like you failed, unfortunately.
Oh no!
So you're frozen in place as the ice hits you. What are you going to do, Valdemar?
Should this be where? This should be how it goes.
Yeah.
How's it gonna go
This
for?
is it. This is it. You
D-
choose.
Oh yeah, Tiffany, what do you think?
I think this one goes well.
Oh, okay.
Or wait, yeah.
So Valdemar prepares a heat spell
All right,
to
and,
unlock you.
and then Ulfgar thaws out, and then Misty says, "Thank you, Valdemar. We're brothers in arms. I'm gonna use my 3rd level berserker attack against the Ice King."
And I buff him with haste 3 also for
Alright.
Benarlia.
Let's go, brother. That is a 20, Craig.
Oh, critical on your final attack. Well done.
I rolled a 1, Craig.
Oh, well, that means that you got to go let me hold your granddad's gun.
Ugh. We really can't mess with that, dude.
Yeah,
that's that's like my dad's prized possession.
Well, fine.
Yes, that's scary. You don't want to mess with his stuff.
Well, let's get back to the
All right, so then what kind of treasure do I get?
and that I think is where our scene ends.
Do you want us to set it up, or do you want?
Yeah, I want you guys
Okay.
to set it up, I think.
Has Katie even seen like her social media and the video itself?
No.
I think there's like Katie whips out her phone, and like this is immediately following the gunshot and the aftermath of this whole like
Yeah.
bedlam.
Yeah.
And you're like, you turn your phone back on just to like take footage of all this, like people like screaming, covered in blood, like running hill and nil, like a little girl just like choking out on her own blood, with like kids dressed in all these like zombie and like monster costumes running everywhere, and like all animate out. And you don't even realize that you're like posting from the official like zombie social
Yeah, the
media
blood.
account.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, that's
yeah.
really good.
So I like, because I've been using the Instagram account, there's like 2. I don't realize I like post live from Zombie Moon.
Yeah, you're doing Zombie
All right.
Moon.
So I'm posting live from Zombie Moon, and I don't know it. So I guess I'm probably going to be like kind of talking through the aftermath, thinking I'm on my own. So I'm kind of like, oh my gosh, you guys, look around. Oh, God. Look, oh, the blood. Oh, so there's been an accident. There was an issue with, what's your tabletop gaming group's name? Don't know.
I think
It's our
yeah, what would
con-
Misty's?
costume like
It's Lupin.
duo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So like Lupin.
The Lupiners.
Lupiners.
the Nick and Misty.
Nick and Misty
Yeah.
show. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because Misty Marshall is
Yeah.
Yeah.
famous.
It's
so.
gotta
True.
have name
Yeah, that's a
recognition.
good point. All right. So this is following the aftermath of the Nick and Misty show. Misty's phone was destroyed for any of you following her live feed. Misty, where are you?
Oh, and she is just like after the gunshot went off, she kind of like stumbles backwards on the stage, and she's just kind of like sprawled out, like looking at what's happening, and she just like starts screaming.
My phone.
Oh my god, my phone! What the hell?
Oh my God, Misty, are you okay?
Oh my god, who's gonna pay for that? Somebody! Oh my god! And she kind of like stands up, and it like goes over and is sort of like ignoring the child to kind of like try and sift
Her- like,
through
one
and
of the girls-
find her SIM card.
Like one of the girl's friends is like shaking her. What is happening?
And
Please
the-
get up. She's so cold.
And Katie, in the meantime, is like still kind of also not paying much attention to this girl, and is kind of like panning
I
and like
think there's
kind
a
of
lot,
like.
a number of people who are actually taking footage at this point
Yes.
of this event, while people are still
And
rising
this girl's
on
like
the ground.
bleeding
and-
out in front
Yeah.
of them all, and
Yeah.
like nobody's really helping. And then kind of like pans back over to her brother's face.
And it's just sort of like blanched and like looks very sick around the edges, green, as he's like, Katie, we got to get out of here. We have to leave. This isn't the place for us.
But we're live, Spike.
Hey everybody, it sucks here. Come on, we have to
So-
leave.
I think this is probably the point to decide whether or not this is like, do I bail or do I stay?
Is this good for you or bad for you? Because it's wild, so you get to choose.
I think it's bad for me.
All right.
Nice.
I'm thinking that, like, as I'm doing this, the people who I work with have just realized that I am live streaming from the
Right.
account and they're in the room.
Right.
So they all start running at me, screaming, "Turn off the stream! Turn off the stream!" And I'm super confused because I'm still hungover. And I'm like, what are you even talking about? I don't know why you're so upset with me. And then, like, cuts the footage at that moment. And then we fade out.
Let's roar.
All right, so that's
Aftermath,
lesson yes. So now
everybody.
we'll roll our aftermaths.
Totally. I got a -7, a black 7, if you will. And that, my friends, is pathetic. You will suffer. Oh, dear God, will you suffer? And everyone will know your malfeasance, your stupidity, your lack of common sense and decency. You're probably going to be locked up too.
All right, so I have a straight up 0.
Nice.
The worst thing in the universe. This probably doesn't include death, since death would be way better than whatever this is. Be creative and don't settle for the first worst thing that comes to mind. There's something darker, more awful, more wretched in there somewhere.
And I also got a 0. I don't know if I should read that again or not.
Do it.
All right, 0. This is the worst thing in the universe. This probably doesn't include death, since death would be way better than whatever this is. Be creative. Don't settle for the first worst thing that comes to mind. There's something darker, more awful, and more wretched in there somewhere.
And I've got +8. So nothing to crow about. Not better, but not way worse either. Maybe the car is wrecked or your wife is leaving you, or there's a court date, but compared to some of the other people you know, ...
Nice. So we'll start to do our montages. For those of you who have more dice.
Yeah, I think we'll just wrap our
Yeah, we'll
montages
just-
earlier, and then
exactly.
you guys
just
can.
go back and forth.
Yeah.
For my first montage scene, we sort of see me paying the bill for the hotel room, as it were, signing out. Obviously, someone else is sort of paying the bill, as it were. But I've got their credit card, and who's also at concierge desk waiting are some police officers. And they seem to have a young woman with them who is recognizable to all of us as the woman who left my room this day. And unfortunately, the police officers take me into custody as I am sort of resisting them a little bit. And I probably get punched in the somewhere, probably in the stomach.
We're gonna flash back. This is like a good while ago. So you have a on the TV is Astro Boy playing some cartoon like USA animation block. It's just sat in front of the TV is a young Nicholas, and he's watching the show and he's really liking it, and he hears a funny sound, and he turns around and his babysitter is like passionately making out with her boyfriend. Thus begins his confusion as he starts to pair anime and budding sexuality.
Again, in college, Misty is very much active in the role-playing games, the tabletop games, and she's really getting into it. And then through her tabletop gaming, she starts going to some game conventions. She starts like meeting some cosplayers, and she's just like really admires these people, and she sort of like gets into this costuming thing. At first, she's kind of like making her own costumes, and then she starts like posting on the internet, and then she gets an Instagram. And at first, like she's a little smaller, she's doing all her own things, and she gets kind of this loyal following of people, not a big following, but enough. She starts off making her name known as like kind of like a DIY sort of person, like doing all her own stuff, and it's very like wholesome and nice, and she's well regarded for that.
So flashback to about 1.5 years ago, and Katie is preparing for her first job as a cosplayer, and she's starting to put on her outfit, and she's slowly putting on her like bullet wound to the head and putting her makeup on over it. And as she's getting ready and putting on her mascara and slowly like kind of powdering her face, she's thinking to herself like, God, I just wish I could get this game off the ground. Over in the corner you see these little figures and some cards that she clearly printed off of her like home computer, and she's just kind of bummed that like this is her life.
We see Max Greenfield. No one calls him Spike anymore, unfortunately. We basically see him in jail for a little bit, getting sentenced, and then he goes to counseling, and he's getting counseled. He does group counseling, and then we see him doing like personal counseling. And it seems as if he's working through his issues and has paid his debt to society, as it were, and is let go into the world as we see sort of a nice black sedan showing up to pick him up outside of the minimum security jail that he's been serving his time.
So outside of a courthouse, Nathan Nicholas is sitting in his car, and it's a beat up old, like, ratty station wagon, secondhand kind of thing. And behind him are all his possessions in the world. His school books, like all the contents of the basement that he lived in at his folks' place are all there. And he's just staring at this paper on the steering wheel, not really paying attention to it, like what it says, as he thinks about, like, what is he going to do since he got kicked out of school? What's he going to do since his parents kicked him out of the house? And what does this even mean that they ruled it an accident and, you know, except for a fine and some community service, he's off the hook? What is that? Like, how is that a good thing?
Another flashback, but it's forward a little bit in time. Misty's still in college. You know, she's put together her first like costume herself. She sewed everything. It's like an Eowyn costume from the Lord of the Rings movie, and
Totally.
she like spent hours like poring over the screenshots. She like made everything like costume spec.
It's Eowyn before the movie was released, too. So
Oh,
all
it's
the
like
sweet stills that
Concept art.
she like hunted down on the internet.
Yeah.
and
Yep.
yeah,
She
yeah.
like maybe she like took her own camera like into the movie theater and was like
Totally.
surreptitiously like taking pictures, and she's like so proud of this costume. And she goes to a convention. And while she's there, she's kind of like hanging around one of the booths, and like some people have come up to her and told her like how cool she looks or whatever. And there's like a booth girl like in one of the booths, and Misty's walking by, and the girl's like, oh hey, that's cute, like cute costume, whatever. But like there are other ways to like wear costumes at conventions. And Misty's kind of like, oh, what are you talking about? Like, what do you mean? This girl like kind of fills her in on like the actual way to make money. Like the all of the best like costumes and the best things are like in these kind of like paid positions where you just come and you like show up, you wear your costume, whatever. Like that's the easy way to make money, and sort of like introduces her to this whole world of like paid costuming, and then that which will eventually lead her into kind of like doing her cam shows, getting her Instagram followers.
This is about like a week and a half after the con, and Katie is holding in her hand her final paycheck from Zombie Moon. And she's feeling really bittersweet about it. And as she is walking past a newsstand, she looks up and then kind of cringes as she sees that every single like newspaper and magazine still has the photos and the like information around the stream with headlines like "Senator's daughter makes out with Misty Marshall" and "Blood and gore happens at AnimeCon." And she starts to kind of weep a little bit as she keeps walking towards home.
This is my final scene. We leave Max as he sort of is sort of made to get a job to some degree. And the job that he chooses is to be his sister's social media assistant. And so we see him like working for his sister, basically, like taking pictures of her or whatever project she's working on. He's sort of assisting her in those things.
This is my final scene. So it's a year later, and cars are pulling up. There's like spotlights in the air. There's a huge banner in front of the hotel that says like AnimeCon, Back from the Dead, Memorial. And it's like, and there's like a picture of the girl who got killed, and it's like presented by Zombie Moon, like on the sign. Like it's a lot of text on this sign. And we kind of like pan in, we like pan through the lobby. There's like little kids like running around, like, people like pretending to sword fight and all this stuff. And we kind of end on the exterior of a stairwell, and you just hear like squishing sounds and like giggling, and then like girl in like a maid's uniform like runs out, and then another girl in a different like kind of maid's uniform runs out in the other direction, and then like a couple boys run out, and like one has like a paddle, the other one's zipping up his fly, another one buttoning their shirt. A guy in like a kind of a big bear costume steps out, and he's like fastening his head back on. And that sort of that scene calms down, and you pan over, and there you just hear like a squeak, 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 and a janitor with a bucket and a mop kind of like rolls his way towards the stairwell and sighs, and he turns and looks back at like all the screaming children, and you see that it's Nicholas Kagan.
Nicholas Kagan
As he opens
cleaning
the
up the stairwell.
Immediately following the chaos and the mayhem, so Misty, stands up from the stage where she's fallen, and she's been, screaming about her phone, and she like stands up and strides over to the edge of the stage and hops down, and the girl is laying on the floor bleeding. Her friend is shaking her, trying to wake her up, and you see her just like bend over and kind of like sift through the wreckage.
What?
And she pulls out her SIM card from the, it's sort of bloody, whatever, and she's just like, oh, thank God, fine, whatever, and she like pushes her way through the crowd of people like back to the hotel room to like grab her luggage and get out of there.
So Katie, this is about a month maybe after she has like lost her job. She's been furiously working on her game and has been taking full advantage of her new followers thanks to Misty and the live footage. So she starts posting photos of herself in cosplay of her new characters and immediately has a pretty significant following and gets really super excited about it and just continuously like furiously works. And you kind of like see her like in this like basement desk area with just like art all over the room, and there's like some like random 3D printed objects over in one part of the space, and she's just like going to town trying to finish this, and it's clear she hasn't slept in days.
This scene is, we see following the hotel room, Misty like takes her SIM card and goes and just like buys a new phone. She like puts the SIM card in. She's like, made her Nicholas stop on the way home so she can like stop at a T-Mobile store or whatever, like pick up a new phone. She can't live without it. So she like spends the hour or whatever in the store while they like update her to her phone, like download all her apps, whatever. She's like, oh, finally, and like logs into Instagram, and all over like trending online are videos of her like freaking out, yelling. Like you see that like one of her boobs like popped out of the costume and she didn't notice. So it's just like her like yelling about her phone, and like people are putting comments like cosplay C with like little stars, like just like horrible, like all kinds of downvotes. Like people are like screenshotting the live video of like her boob and like posting it on 4chan and like memeing everything, and she's just like, oh my God, what is happening? Her social media influence is falling.
So this is the day of the shooting. Max and Katie get home to find their dad and his Secret Service detail like raging fury, and his office manager is there screaming at them about how they're going to clean up this mess. And their dad threatens to cut them off entirely financially if they don't get their acts together.
We open on kind of like the interior of a house, and it's dark inside, but there's kind of like a dirty, like covered over window with just enough light to come in that you can see like the dust speckles through the light into the frame. Kind of hobbles this like old woman. She's got like a dirty old house dress on, and she's kind of like kicking cats out of the way and like smoking a cigarette, and she like hobbles up a little set of attic stairs and goes into an attic. There's just like piles of boxes everywhere and like everything's all dusty and covered over. She's smoking and she like hobbles over to this trunk and she opens the trunk and is sort of like weeding through it. And she pulls out this like sort of ivory colored, like dusty old piece of material and she pulls it out. And it's just like a decrepit sort of old like version of her Eowyn costume, like the first costume that she's ever made. And it's like full of kind of like moth holes. And she just sort of like strokes it and like a single tear like falls from her lips as like the ash falls from her cigarette. She's stroking this costume.
It's a year later, and we're at Anime Con Back from the Dead. And Max kind of preps Katie behind the scenes and is like, it's okay, sis. You're going to be great. You're going to be awesome out there. And he goes on to stage and introduces her and, announces like, all right, are you ready for Katie Greenfield? And you hear like the background. And she kind of waltzes out to this panel about her new game.
All right. With that, our story ends. We will return again with a new tale to spin to dare to entertain. I was one of your players, John Holt. You can find me on Twitter at Lord Joho, and you can find me on Instagram at board_ghost, and you can find my other podcast at newtoyoushow.com. Ken, where can people find you?
You can find me at Burling's Beard, BERLINGS Beard, all over the internet. Find me on Twitter. Check out my website. I'm a big Instagrammer too, actually, which goes well with this session, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I'm Tiffany Cook. You can find me on pretty much any social media channel at Tiffany E. Cook, E as in Elizabeth.
All right, Dee, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter, so give me all those likes of my social media game. My Twitter handle is MixNerd, MXNURD. So yeah, tweet me up.
All right, guys, thanks again for joining us. It was a blast having you play Fiasco.
Great
Thanks
session.
so much for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Having you guys back is great.
All right, so to learn more about the players and the engine in our story, visit boardghost.com. You can attempt to pierce the veil and contact us at BoardGhostWorld on Twitter. Shout out through the ether if you have desires we can fulfill. Please leave reviews and comments on iTunes, your preferred listening portal, and take a moment to subscribe so you don't miss out on the latest episodes. We'd like to thank Pat Couple for our theme song and interlude music. You can find more about Pat at patcouples.tumblr.com or on his band's website, hotelsandhighways.com. If you're not alone in the void, share our stories. The more they are consumed, the truer they become.
Dying don't agree with me.